guys, Steve here with another one of your Saturday stories and a little bit of a hope hack to go with it. So this will be our last hope hack for you guys. But for this last hope hack, I kind of wanted to give you guys a story that might feel very similar to what a lot of you guys are going through right now. I have had a lot of past jobs as a mountain guide, but my very first backpacking trip went probably as bad as a trip could go. Well, not as bad as a trip could go, but my first backpacking trip went pretty bad. We were in Cherokee, North Carolina, and we all grabbed our packs and we were determined to go do this trail. And a friend of mine thought that this one particular spot was the entrance to the trail. And we're like, yeah, I mean, it kind of looks like it. I mean, none of us had honestly seen like a trailhead. We go down this trailhead, brush starts to get kind of thick, and we're like, well, maybe they just haven't maintained it well in a while. Eventually, we found ourselves going down the side of a ridge into a creek bed, and we're like, well, we're definitely lost now. We were going to hike through creek bed for the rest of the night. We hiked till about midnight, and we're hiking through creek bed, and we're tripping and we're stumbling, we're crawling under logs, we're like shoulder deep in stinging nettle. I don't know if you guys have ever been in stinging nettle, but walking through shoulder deep nettle is not fun. One thing I noticed was whenever I would sing worship songs, I wouldn't trip or stumble as much. And singing worship music was about the only thing that like kept me sane. Because in my head I was like, oh gosh, we're gonna end up on the news, 4 boys get lost, never found again. When I would sing these worship songs, I wouldn't trip or stumble or get as frustrated about hiking through creek bed. If I like got distracted or started singing something else that maybe wasn't worship music, I at least started to notice myself tripping more, banging my shins or getting frustrated or stuck under a log or something like that. And so the next morning, all you see is just sort of like open sky right on top of you, but then you see these trees and they come to a point, and they're coming to a point because they're off in the distance, and you're like, man, I wonder like when the trees are gonna like break and we're gonna be able to see where our trail is again. We're still hiking through creek bed, and I'm just wondering, it's like, man, like when's this gonna end? And I just had to keep singing worship music, and it got harder because we're like, is the trail gonna be here? We knew that the trail intersected with the creek bed, and that was super important to stay in the creek bed because we knew that where we were supposed to be is intersecting with where we are currently. It's just way far down the line, and we just have to keep going. There's a couple lessons in that. One, we can really keep ourselves from stumbling when we just focus on God. When we focus on worshiping Him and praising Him, because that's what we're going to be doing for eternity anyways. So why not start right now? And that can keep joy in us, that'll sustain us. Worshiping Him will be that thing. 2, when it looks like the trees still aren't going to break, keep focusing on God, right? Because eventually it will happen. He's a God of His promises. He has always followed through on His promises. We know for a fact that He is going to intersect in our lives, and this intersection could be a multitude of different things. It could be many different things for many people. I think a lot of people are looking for that intersection of when this pandemic is going to end, and we don't know. And that's kind of the issue. We don't know. And so we're hiking through this metaphorical creek bed right now, but there will be an intersection where we find the trail that we're supposed to be on, metaphorically speaking. And when that time comes, it's going to be really great. God is a God of His promises. Keep going. Don't abandon the faith. I want to read you a verse from Hebrews. I want to read you a verse out of Hebrews 12, verses 1 and 2. Therefore, since we have so great a cloud of witnesses surrounding us, let us also lay aside every encumbrance and the sin which so easily entangles us. And let us run with endurance the race that is set before us, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the author and perfecter of faith, who for the joy set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and has sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. For consider him who has endured such hostility by sinners against himself, so that you will not grow weary and lose heart. And I know for a while, it looked like the trees were opening up for us as a society for a little bit, and then we found that we still have a lot of creek bed to go. And so Hope Church and people that are new to Hope, I just want to encourage you with that scripture and think about what Christ has endured for us, and let that spur us on to keep the hope, keep the faith, and keep hope alive. All right, guys, we'll see you in the next one. Love y'all. Bye.